All right. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Photography, where we talk cameras, lighting, complaints, business, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, this is an open discussion, folks, okay? So if you want to be a part of the conversation, post a comment, let me know, and you could join with me live. I'll send you the live link, and you can just jump on there with me. So this week is a little special because if you haven't noticed, I just posted just a few hours ago that I was going to go live because I didn't have a topic. And I was just really doing some deep self reflecting. And I said, you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about where I came from, what mistakes I made, what lessons were learned, and how I wish I could have avoided them. So today is going to be all about if I had to do it all over again, what would I change? Let's get to it. All right. All right. Before we get into the topic of the day, um, I have some cool, exciting news to share with you. But let's get the commercial stuff out the way, shall we? So, of course, make sure if you want to learn more about your photography, feel free to come and join me on my group workshops. These are in-person workshops, some at my studio, some elsewhere on location. You could keep up with that. Join my newsletter over at robertsilverphotography.com to find out more details of my upcoming workshops and stuff. But of course, if you're not following me on other socials besides YouTube, shame on you. Okay. So, so with that said, you go ahead and follow me on Facebook at Robert Silver Photography, Instagram at Robert Silver Photography, TikTok, Robert Silver Photography, and of course, I'm on Twitter too, Rob Silver Photog, and I'm also on Snapchat. Not that I don't know how many of you use Snapchat, but yeah, I do post on Snapchat. Okay, even though it's kind of by the wayside. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the way Snapchat's going. All right. So, if you want to receive some exclusive educational content to help you improve your photography, come join me on my Patreon. That's right, I'm on Patreon at patreon.com at Robert Silver Photography. That's right, I am there. And I post about once, twice a day, whether it be industry news, gear stuff, topic, what else is there? And just good old fashioned lessons and whatnot, and tips and tricks and things that just come up to mind. But either way, it's all to help you to better improve your photography and to motivate and inspire you too. So, and keep you abreast of what's going on here in photography land because there's a lot going on, and it's even hard for me to catch up. I've been signing up to so many newsletters, to so many journal photography um, websites, journals, and all sorts of stuff, just so I can share that all with you. Okay, and my Patreon will be a great place for you to keep abreast with the latest updates. All right. Um, I do have this matter of fact, my next live photo shoot live stream is this Sunday, exclusive to my Patreon members. Okay. Now, this Sunday at 10 o'clock, I will be having a live photo shoot with model Venusa. She is fantastic. She's amazing, super fun and bubbly. And we have a few looks we're going to be shooting. It's going to be fantastic. It will be featuring the um camera. It'll be featuring the Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark II. I will be doing the photo shoot with. That's right. That's two. Okay. That's right. That's right. There we go. And we'll be doing that, and I will be also using hand-painted canvas backdrops from Clot Studios. I got 2 colors, and I can't wait to show those to you. Really gorgeous colors, and, you don't wanna miss that. All you gotta do is subscribe to my Patreon, okay? Woo! Alright, it looks like we already have a comment or 2. Let me make sure I say what's up to people here. Oh, we got Cooley in the house. He says, "Would have bought a studio that was for sale." Oh, shoot, okay. And, uh-oh, here we go. And now I am here. Here we go. I don't know if that's a loss or a win, but I think it's gonna be a win. So I'll give Cooley a
Oh yeah!
that's right. Thank you very much for always tuning into the show. I really appreciate it. And before we get into today's topic, let's go over another thing. This Monday, from Marketing Monday, okay, that's when we talk about content marketing strategies for you to be able to turn your passion into profits. That's right. Even though um, I talk mainly from a photographer's lens, um, no pun intended. I will be the techniques and tips and tricks that I'll be sharing is applicable to any business because marketing is really just when it get to the fundamentals, they're pretty much the same. It just your audience and the methods in which to speak and reach that audience is different, right? All right, and but this episode this Monday will be about photography upselling. That's right. This Monday same time, same bad place, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be discussing photography upselling. That's right. So the name of the game is to maximize each customer that you have in front of you, right? Because the way I operate is that I never assume the next one is just one day later. It's not going to be, it's going to be here in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. I assume no one's going to come after that client. Therefore, I save my money, right? Like a squirrel does little acorns. But I also um maximize that interaction. So I'm always looking for opportunities to upsell. So yeah, they might buy one package, but I'm always trying to figure out all the other areas where in which the service I'm looking for other services and products that I can sell that complement that specific package that they bought. All right. So we want you to be able to maximize, get more bang for your buck when you're dealing with your client and make that money. Okay. Yes. That's what it's about. So make sure you tune in, as I said, this Monday for Marketing Monday, and we will be talking about ways for you to be able to upsell your photography. All right, that's very important. Looks like we got. Oh, here we go. Cooley comes back. Have you ever tried to bid on high school contracts? No, I have not. Are you talking about for like student for class portraits and stuff like that? Is that what it is? Like graduation portraits or school pictures? I have not. Back in the early day, I tried to dabble in that. Like I created packages and everything else. Because I had like a private school that reached out to me to do it. But the more I got into it, the more I realized, wow, I don't want to do it. It's just because of the you have to take everyone's photo. It's very you have to be very meticulous and organized in order to pull it off and to make money. Otherwise, the more organized disorganized you are, oh, okay, Cooley. The more disorganized, the more headache, more drama. Obviously, people are going to be looking at you crazy, clients complaining, and then the amount that you initially made may not be ending up worth it if you're not super organized. And at that time, it was like maybe 4 years into my professional photography that I decided to go full time. That I got this proposition, but I didn't think I was ready for it, so I didn't go for it because I'd rather not do a job half ass. It's either I feel confident that I can not kill it or don't do it at all. And so with that said, I didn't do it. But I know photographers do it. They do it seasonally, and make tons of money. They get good connections, work with a few schools and make a killing. So if you feel like you can do it, I say go for it. Absolutely. Okay? So get that money, Cooley, Don't leave anything on the table nowadays. All right. Let's puppy bup. Let's see if I missed anything. No, everything looks like a go. Oh, okay, cool. So, this week's product highlight that I want to talk about, I mentioned it last week, but I have to mention it again today because I'm absolutely shocked, okay? In a very very good way. All right. So, this week is brought to you by okay? Da-da-da-da-da, the Lumix. There we go. There we go. The Lumix S5 Mark II. That's right, the Lumix S5 Mark II. And believe it or not, I'm actually live streaming with it right now. And the autofocus that because they this is their first camera, they went to phase detect autofocus. It's a hybrid phase detect, contrast detect. Either way, it's got the phase detect and it has, I think, 715 autofocus points. And wow, I've been loving it. I've been loving it. If the autofocus gets better from here on out, it's gonna be amazing. Because I just love when I'm able to create content and I can do this. Look at this. I can focus, bam, and it comes right back to my face. Boom. Like boom. Yo, that's a solid win. Way to go, Panasonic. That's right. That matter of fact, I had to pull out Randy Savage on this one.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, I love being able to do that. I was getting the camera ready for going to WPPI because I already know I'm going to be touching all the gear and bringing all that to all of you. And I was just testing around the house how the autofocus really works, and man, I was blown away. I'm telling you. So I'm gonna get the Lumix S5 Mark II X when that one drops, just because it has extra video features, and I love the size of the S5, and that's a perfect camera for me to travel with. Something that I could do my video, I can live stream while I'm on the go, and then I could also shoot great pictures. So yeah, so here it is again. Look, I can go bam, right? There we go. There it is, right? And then bam, right? Who would have thought Panasonic could get that going? Man, that's amazing. I just love I loved it. I did this so many times earlier today. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what? This camera does what? Now, for you, who is it? For you, Canon and Sony users, I get it. It's no big deal. And you might not like it. It may not be as good as Sony, but I don't care. Okay. That's right. I don't give a damn. Okay. Right now, I am geeking out. I am geeking out because I love recording all my short films and my feature documentary were all recorded with Panasonic Lumix. I love the color. I love how easy I can push and pull the highlights, and the dynamic range is great. Everything about Panasonic for video is fantastic. Stabilization is always bar none, but now I get the phaser tag, and hold on. Let me get this thing going. There we go. There we go. I think it sees my face. Boom. I just love that it can do that. Oh my God. Yes. Finally. Thank you.
Oh yeah!
So yeah, I'll be bringing this camera. This will be the camera I'm actually going to bring to WPPI because I could do photos and video. And I tested out the image stabilization too. It's damn near like a gimbal. So I'm gonna bring this camera, maybe two lenses, and just capture tons of content at WPPI. So if there's anything you want me to check out for you, let me know. Post it down below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to do that for you. I am gonna go live while on the expo floor on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. I will be going live and doing some touching some great toys, whatever is out there. And so I definitely want to hear some of you in terms of what you like, what you see. So stay tuned for that. Okay. So that was my product highlight for today. So shout out to Panasonic for coming out with the Lumix S5 Mark II with the phase detect. That's right. The phase detect. Hello. So I'm really getting a kick out of it. I'm not gonna lie. And the other thing is it does, 6K. It does open gate recording, so it records from the entire sensor. I mean, this camera is kind of a beast. So I'm really happy about it. I'm actually gonna buy it, right? I was just about to buy the GH6, okay, because I was just blown away with the GH6. But I have so many Sigma L mount lenses, and wow. Now I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna get the S5 Mark II. Uh, X is the one that I think I want, all blacked out. Got to do that. All right, now let's move on to the next segment. Okay, we got some news. That's right. Okay, we got some news. All right. So before we get to the news, let's knock out these couple of comments. Okay. Boopity boopity boop. Oh, the pay for school stinks. Okay, well, you know what? See, that's even worse. Okay, that's even worse. So I don't want to. That's why I didn't do it. I never really got into it, and I don't have the patience, quite honestly, to deal with other kids. So, um, hunting bro, hey, hunting bro, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Thanks, hunting bro, for tuning in. There we go. Could you shoot? Well, I already shot you out there, so there you go. There you go. You know what, hunting bro? Here we go. I'm gonna drop a few of these on you, okay? Thank you very much for tuning in. And then Cooley comes back. What's a good starter kit with that camera? Okay, with the Lumix S5 Mark II, this was the 85 millimeter f1.8 that they have. Where is it? Right here. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Right, 85 Mark. But it actually comes with this lens. Hold on, folks. Let me get the lens for you. Okay. Oh, it comes with it. Coolly, it comes with this lens. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Jeez. All right. It's a one-man bandstand around here. It comes with this lens right here. The Lumix 20 to 60 millimeter, 3.5 to 5.6, I believe. Yeah, 5.6. So here it is right there. Boom. Okay. Look at this autofocus. And it comes back to my face. Hey, shout out to Lumix. Okay. That was a dope. Man, I'm just super. Now I'm excited to use the camera. So, previously with all my live streams, everyone, I have been using the first of all, Cooley, to answer your question, this is a great starter lens, the ones that comes with the package. I think for the Lumix S5 Mark II, it's $2,100. That includes the lens plus the body. And this I brought to Barcelona, and I brought like four other lenses. And 95% of the time, I just use this lens because 20 mil gives you great environmental shots. I mean, it's nice and wide, but not too wide. It's really a lot. You get 10 more degrees of view over a 24 millimeter. So if I bought the 24 to 70, it's really heavy. It's much bigger. It's bigger all the way around. And this is nice and compact, and it's only a 67. Let me see. Yeah, 67 filter thread. So it's really it's lighter, it's compact, and the filters are cheaper. So there you go. This was really cool. So would it make a great video camera? 100%. This camera has 6.5 stops of image stabilization. It also has its electronic stabilization is crazy. It's like you're walking with a gimbal almost, but it's very close. It's real good. Um, it does unlimited record time. It has a built-in fan, so you can do unlimited 4K, 60 frames a second, unlimited. It can do up to 6K, 30 frames a second, 30 for 30 minutes. Okay, so you could do 6K. So I'm gonna just say hell to the yeah. Vlog is pre-installed, so you get up to 14 plus stops of dynamic range when you use Vlog, and it has dual native ISO. So you have the native the base ISO at 640, and then the second circuit kicks in at ISO 4000. So when you're in low light, let's say a living room, and you're recording at ISO 4000, normally you're gonna like, oh my god, I'm gonna get some grain, but actually the bass kicks in again at 4000. Therefore, you're going to get a picture that's as clean as at 640. Boom, mind blowing. So you're getting a lot of great cinematic features. You have vector scope. Of course, you have your histogram waveform. You have a lot of professional features, and you have in-body anamorphic lens support. So shout out to the Lumix S5 Mark II. Okay, so it's a great camera. I mean, for $2,100, and it comes with a great lens that I really enjoy using. It it's honestly it's extremely underrated, I think, in my opinion. For 2,100 bucks. Okay. Nikon just dropped the lens, and that thing is freaking $3,000. So you could get a camera that does cinematic quality video, 24 megapixel photos, okay, with a lens for 2,100 bucks. And by the way, when it comes to color, um Panasonic has their cinema cameras are Vericam, right? So you're getting the same color science that's inside of their cinema broadcast cameras into their S line, which is the Lumix S5, etc., S1H, or whatever. So you're getting a very compact, portable, user friendly cinematic quality camera in your hand. So I like the camera myself, but that's just me. What kind of card and how big do you need? Well, I use like 128 gig at least because I shoot video at 4K, 422 10-bit, and it does swallow up pretty fast. And if you shoot even at 4K at 60, it swallows up at 420, it still swallows up a lot. So I do at least 128 gig. These do UHS 2 US SD cards. So like you can get the best of the best of whatever you can afford, but it does have a 2 card slot. All right. All right, let's get to the news. God, come on, folks. I'm digressing here. All right. Let's get back to the news, shall we? All right. Let me share my screen and talk about some news. All right. This is the biggest news right here. All right. God, I'm saying all right a little too many times. Let me drink on my tea. You know I need my tea, folks. Okay. Again, shout out to Yeti. If you're a Yeti drinker, you already know what time it is, right? You already know what time it is. Let me see if this thing's gonna get my face. Anyway, is it gonna get the Yeti? Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Yeti. Bam. All right. Shout out to Yeti. They don't sponsor this video at all, but I'll be glad if they did one day. But I love Yetis. Look at that. I put a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I put a lot of sugar into my green tea. So it's like I'm gonna go healthy with the green tea, but I'm gonna balance it out by going absolutely unhealthy with tons of sugar. So it is what it is, right? All right. So here we are. Petapixel announces that Sigma launches interchangeable lenses for Nikon Z cameras. Yes. Oh my God. So here we go. Sigma is launching support for Nikon Z mount cameras, and we all wouldn't. I swear to God, people didn't think this day was coming. That Nikon would actually open up their mount for third party makers, and slowly they did. I think with Tamron, right? But here we go with Sigma, which is honestly my favorite of the third party lenses, just because I have more experience with them, and I think if this is a fantastic move because I love I have I guess because I use Panasonic and I have experience with their L mount. Um, yeah, maybe that's why I favor them a little bit. But it's not to say nothing to Tamron. I just have more experience with Sigma. But here we go. All right, let's check. Let's take a look. The company announced the licensing agreement with Nikon to support its Z mount very early this morning with 3 contemporary series prime lenses for Sony E mount, of course, uh, Canon EF M mount, Fuji X mount, Micro Four Thirds, of course, and L mount. Oh yeah, we got the 16 millimeter f 1.4 DCDN lens, 30 millimeter. Okay, that'll be a very fun street photography lens right there. 30 mil and a 56 millimeter f 1.7 DCDN lens. Well, that's very, very cool. These are very interesting um focal lengths, right? Not as traditional. 16 maybe ish, but the 30 and the 56. I see like cinema lenses tend to have like these kind of focal lengths. So this is really interesting. And this particular contemporary series, they have them in all these camera mounts. And Sigma to me has been really killing it, not only with their build quality. I think their lenses are built amazing. They look sexy as hell. And the quality is really stellar. I've never complained shooting my films with Sigma lenses. And they're super sharp too. And the prices are always real good. So that's a shout out to Sigma for that one. But these are very cool focal lengths. Definitely the 30 would be like on my list if I was to get one of these first. would be the 30 mil for some street photography. All these lenses were released as a group for Fuji, Fujifilm APS-C cameras almost exactly a year ago. I remember that, signaling the start of Sigma's support for X mount. Nothing about these lenses, other than the mount, is changing with the addition of Nikon Z mount. So there you go. All right. So nothing has really changed since they did talk about these lenses. I knew they looked very familiar. I wasn't, put my finger on it, and but I am excited that Nikon is like finally quit being so stingy with their mount. This is why Sony dominates, is because they just let anybody make lenses as long as people buy into the Sony E mount system. They didn't give a hoot, and I thought that was great marketing, quite honestly. Um, it allows provides more flexibility. People of all sorts of um how can I say financial statuses to jump into Sony, and that's why people have. You don't have to have all the money in the world to shoot Sony E mount. And if you did have a lot of money, you could just buy Sony glass and Sony cameras. But this is really great to give more photographers of all financial levels different options. So again, uh same things happening with Nikon. They're just a little slower on the come up, but I love all my Nikon lenses. I have the Nikon Z9, but for this news, this is great. So if I got something a little smaller than a Z9, which I hope like a D850 version would come out, I would definitely eyeball one of these. If I were to get one myself, I would do the 30 mil for sure, because that'd be a fun just to overall street photography, vacation, walk around kind of a lens. So that's that. Let me just check in and see if we have any. Yep, we do. Bibbidi boop. Oh, Yeti 30 ounce. Oh, okay. Damn. Okay, cool. You got the 30 ounce. This one is only a 20 ounce, I believe. I have a 26 ounce over there. That one's super big. It's a thermos, but this one's a 20. It's like a perfect size. I think I'm coming down with a cold. But anyway, I'm feeling something up here. All right, let's get back into it. Now we have another um news that I saw while looking at this news, believe it or not, folks. Check this out. Oh, here we go. I saw this. This was interesting. Look at this. Popular Instagram photographer revealed as AI fraud. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's no bueno, okay? Don't do this, folks. Don't you dare do some stupid shit like this. A popular photographer who has amassed almost 30,000 followers. Oh my god. Has admitted that his portraits are actually generated by artificial intelligence. What? We were just talking about this last week, right, folks? Talking about the future of photography, right, and how AI is going to influence it. Here's the negative side: people are going to just sit there and say, I created X, Y, and Z," but really they just typed in some words, and here it came. 30,000 followers. Man, I wish I had 10,000. So make sure you go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Okay. Um, Joss Avery, Joss, I guess, Joss has been posting his impressive photos, quote unquote, since October last year, deceiving his audience into thinking they are genuine portraits, even describing the camera equipment he uses. He said he had a Nikon D810 with a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. Sorry. Okay. Avery tells Ars Technica that he set out to fool people, saying, "Do people who wear makeup in photos disclose that? What about cosmetic surgery? Every commercial photographer, a commercial fashion photograph has a heavy dose of photoshopping, including celebrity body replacement on the covers of magazines." That's a good point. And it says Avery's Instagram followers are besotted with his work, showing him with compliments that he laps up. That's right. He gets all the fire emojis and the clip, clap hands and all this other stuff. Your portraits are amazing. You're phenomenal. Oh my God. Thank you for the inspiration you provide day after day with your wonderful portraiture, writes one genuine photographer. I stop, take a long look, reflect, and most certainly learn from every post you share. Instead of admitting that his work is inauthentic, Avery says, "Thanks very much for taking the time to share that. It means a lot, even though I didn't shoot it." My God, look at this. Wow. I mean, the photos are great, but it was a software that did it. Uh, damn, that's crazy. He, Avery ostensibly, oh, that's a new word for me right there. I can't say that. Ostensibly, replies to nearly every comment he receives, thanking the person for giving him praise and ignoring the tiny minority uh, who point out that it's AI. Oh, there were people that's okay. His vagueness extends into outright denial of truth when he asked about specific details like, "What camera are you using?" He replies, "I shoot Nikons." Oh, that's very vague. He even teases that he might record the process of his workflow when asked about what he gets his how he gets his bokeh. Oh, look at that son of a gun. I often composite and use post blurring. Avery says, "I should really record the process one of these days." To which his follower replies, "Mighty kind of you. You're one of those rare breeds who really takes time to reply to each comment." Avery also hoodwinks via his hashtags, which are populated with photo indicators like black and white photography, hashtag portrait photography, etc. He occasionally uses AI or digital art, but they are all lost in a sea of hashtags that bona fide photographers use. Wow. Wow. Look at this. It says Avery admitted his deceit to Ars Technica that probably 95% of his followers don't realize. "I'd like to come clean. I am honestly conflicted. My original aim was to fool people to showcase AI and then write an article about it. But now I just love receiving validation and hand claps and emoji fire emojis. Oh, but now it has become an artistic outlet. My views have changed." Ah, blah, 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 blah. So please let me know what you think about that right there. What do you think about that? I kind of get his point when he's talking about, you know, when models take a photo, do their face really look that way? And when I post a photo, do the model's face look like that way when they walk into my studio? No, I retouch, etc. I get it. But at least I don't know. It's just something about at least I'm manipulating it, and I'm saying I did everything as far as lighting, composition, lens choice, camera. I know how I did it. I created it literally from nothing to something, and AI kind of takes all that knowledge and know how out of and an experience of tailoring the craft. It kinda takes all of that out just by a few clicks, a few texts to help the AI where you wanna go, and it does it. It pulls it up from whatever, information it's, been programmed into its database. It refers to that information, creates this imagery. You know, like he said, he shoots with Nikons. He doesn't even, it's not even a specific camera, it's not even a specific lens, he could tell you. And I think the way he went about it was totally deceitful. If on his page, let's say his profile, hey, these are all AI generated photos and this is what I did, but he played along. And I think his addiction to affirmation, attention, validation, all those particular things, he's no better than any other little model or so-called model on Instagram getting instant gratification and being hooked to it. There's nothing different about it. And, so I think it's the way he went about it. I think, like I said, if he originally said X, Y, and Z, then you could choose to like it or not like it. But all those people, like you said, 95% of them assumed he created that photo. He got what that subject captured that subject. He knew how to I don't even think he knows how to use the camera. A Nikon. I don't think he knows how to, anybody can say Nikon or Canons, So I think it's the deceitful way that he went about it. Am I hating that he got the followers um because he did you AI generated photos? No. I mean, the AI did a great job. It created these photos, but I think it's again, if he just came out and said, "Look, this is my page and I created these photos through AI in the first place. I did not take them. I don't know these subjects. I don't even know where they were from. I don't know the locations, etc." Um um that would have been at least he was just a liar pretty much. Um Here we go. Cooley says Fitz and Carrick. Oh, okay. I'll check that out. I will. And oh, he says that dude should be banned from photography. Yes, but unfortunately that won't happen. And especially, like Instagram, um he didn't violate any membership or like user what do you call it? Bylaws and so forth. So I think he'll be fine. But yes, in theory, yes. Because as I said, he didn't come out and say, this is my page. My page is full of AI generated photos that I created through artificial intelligence, through a software. He literally took all the credit. He took the credit. And I think that's where it got a little ugly right there. He became a liar. So, a fat L for that guy. Okay. Anyway, so that is the end of that. Let's get to the topic of today, shall we? Got a lot to do, a lot to talk about. Okay. As I said, we're going to be talking about if I had to do it all again, what would I change? All right. So the first thing I would do, I think, and there's a lot of things. I actually thought of a lot, but I had to keep it simple. Is I would have spent more time enjoying the craft. Now, what I mean by that is during the process of learning photography, like my career started with like my foundation was one semester at Academy of Art in San Francisco. I was going there to be a film director, and they put a 35 millimeter film camera in my hand, a Canon of something, and then I'm shooting stills, right? And that was in the first semester. I changed my major, changed my school, etc. But that foundation, that first semester is where I base a lot of my knowledge and I built from there. That's where I started from. But I think I wish I could have just spent more time enjoying the craft of photography before I jumped to being a full-time professional. And I say that because as I look back, I said, when did I allow myself to really just enjoy the process? Right. And I think that's important because before you know it, when you're trying, you first try to make this a profession, right? You're getting paid for this. You're like, okay, I want to make X. How can I keep making X? Now I want to make this X. I want to double it. I want to, whatever it is, I want to improve. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, now you have to market it. You got the social media going. You got the website you have to update. You got all this stuff going. And before you know it, you're a full blown, it's your job. It's a straight up job. And I was thinking today that I kind of miss enjoying photography for photography's sake rather than, oh, I have to get up and promote my work, promote my workshop, promote my channel. And it's a job. It became a job. And that kind of sucks. And not that it sucks that I'm in a position that it is a job, but like, I mean, that's great. But I mean, that I just missed the passion part a little bit, and just grabbing a camera, just take one lens, going to a city and just shoot, and then have lunch out there and shoot some more. Just shoot for shooting's sake, right? And I miss those days. Now, when I wake up, I'm thinking about when I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and it's all really like 90% of it's marketing and creating content and stuff like that, that I miss photography, um, like you miss an old best friend, you know? So that's why I wanna say, for you young photographers or new photographers, you know, take the time to enjoy the craft of photography. Yes, there's a potential that you can make money and monetize your effort and your skills, but enjoy the process for the process sake of it. Enjoy learning, enjoy being curious. How does this camera actually function? Learn the camera, slow down, especially if you got a new one, but for your first camera, slow down. Just what is shutter speed? Why does it do what it does? And when should I change it? Aperture, your ISO, exposure compensation, composition, um, experiment, break the rules when you find a few, break a few. And I think just, sometimes we want to go from 0 to 60 real quick. We grab a camera and we want to instantly have that 10K followers and all this validation that our work is at least heading in the right direction, right? But there's a lot of times where that it doesn't come that way. Some have, for some people. Me, it's so slow burn. Um, if it was if it's I have to remind myself that I actually enjoy photography and that it's not just a job. So that's one thing I wish I did more of, which is like spend more time enjoying the craft, spend more time wandering and just shooting. So that's one thing I'm going to do in Vegas for sure, is just to get out and just shoot, just walk around the city, maybe during the nighttime, get some cool action going on. I don't know. I just want to be. I'm gonna try to find more ways this year for me to be able to take photos, and it's not for work. You know what I mean? And that I think, I want to remember that I actually do enjoy photography, and it's not always about, oh, I'm gonna take this picture because I need to post it, or it's gonna serve this particular need of a video or some B-roll, whatever. I just want to shoot, you know? And I do miss that. And that's one thing I wish I spent more time at the beginning, which is just like, just shoot, man. And I think that could have really helped me out in other arenas as well. All right, let's take a look at these comments. All right. Oh, okay. So Cooley says, not play it as safe. Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right. Take chances, experiment, right? And then he comes back, we get caught up in the game. Absolutely, especially when you realize you can make a few bucks, all of a sudden you're like, "Well, if I can make $2, how do I make 3? How do I make 4?" And then, like, you before you know it, it becomes a job. It becomes a job. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I want you all to. That's why I have Marketing Mondays, so you can find ways for you to turn your passion into profits, but don't forget it was a passion first, right? You're very lucky if you're able to make some money off of something that you're passionate about, but we shouldn't lose the passion in the process, is what I'm saying. Andre comes in. Hey, Andre. Hi, Robert. Unfortunately, I can't stay long. Just come say hi. Hope all is well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, I really do. So yeah, that's one thing for sure. It's just to slow down, enjoy the process. Your next shot doesn't have to be the best shot. Like, just enjoy shooting. Okay. Recently, I shot my buddy. He has some Ducatis, and I wanted to test out the Lumix S5 Mark II. And I'm like, he's like, "Hey, I want some video, whatever." I was like, I want to test this camera out. Let me just shoot. Now, I wasn't shooting like I'm gonna, like, oh my god, I'm gonna paint the, have it printed and everything. Like, no, I just went up with the expectation. I grabbed two lenses, and I just enjoyed shooting and learning and experimenting, and it was just fun. It was just fun. It was like no pressure, so I really enjoyed that. Here's something else. Okay. At the beginning, or at least in my earlier part as a photographer, I wish I pushed more creatively at the beginning. I really do. People, so I know photographers that young photographers I've met or photographers I met along the way that have went to school and for photography, and I think that could be a great thing. I don't think that's the single thing that will help you propel you, but for sure you can make connections. You can learn a lot about theory and a lot of traditional values in terms of the approach of photography. You can learn in school in a controlled setting and really gain a very strong fundamental understanding of certain basics. Um, and be encouraged to create differently, to see things differently, to take photos of things differently in a different way, and really try to fine tune your voice. And I think as a school can help you do that, um, but that's what I mean by being creatively more at the beginning. Um, I think I got caught up in like what camera I had compared to whoever had, what was a camera deemed as cool or like, all right, that means you're somebody in terms of like you're taking this craft serious and how do I get there? Um, it kind of goes back to the beginning where it says, I need to slow down, trust the process, enjoy the craft. Um, and I should have spent way more time, less time on YouTube. I'll say that. Sorry, even though I'm on it, you know what I mean? But I wish I spent less time on YouTube and more time shooting. That's for real. That's definitely for real. And um not that YouTube is bad, which I don't think it is. It's a great resource to learn more or to find a trick or something. Like I found so many little tricks for retouching in Photoshop that honestly it's a great resource. But I think the best lessons I've learned was just by shooting. And I think I should have spent more time really not just okay, I I believe I have a firm understanding of the fundamentals, but pushing the boundaries, breaking the rules, just being creative for creative sake. And sometimes when you don't know anything, you're a lot more daring in terms of trying new things. And I think that goes for any craft, that goes for anything. And especially for photography, because um, as I explained last week, the bar for entry to be a photographer is very low. You just need a credit card and an address to deliver the camera, and boom, you're now a photographer, right? So, um, you being able to fine tune your voice and expressing it consistently throughout your work is going to be more important than ever. That's what's going to separate you. That's going to be your X factor, as I explained in branding yourself as a photographer. And that's what I mean by pushing more creatively at the beginning, worrying about being finding that voice, fine tuning that voice, pushing the boundaries of my voice as an artist more. I wish I spent more time doing that at the beginning. That I think was a little bit of an L for me. You know what I mean? So because again, as soon as it gets into a job mode, as soon as it get to that level where now this is your profession and everything else, you honestly don't have as much time to really push and to experiment and be daring as when this wasn't for money. It wasn't to pay your rent. It wasn't to pay that car note because obviously that becomes the priority. And this is just but the median in which you get income and pay said responsibilities. So when you have none of that, like if you have a job and now you have you want to learn photography, your bills are taken care of with your job and allows you to really just enjoy the process, as I said earlier, but also for you to be just creative, be daring. This is your time when as a new photographer or even if you're like a year or 2 in, this is your moment to just go wild. Try it all. Fuck up. It's all good. You only have to post the one best photo of the bunch. So no one has to see the other, and no one more than likely gives a damn. They just want to see the best one. And they assume the one you post is the best one. No one's ever said, "Hey, can you post the worst photo of that shoot?" Maybe I should, just to show you guys that, we all go through it. Not every shot we shoot is the best. The thing what comes with experience is that you could be more consistent at capturing better photos. And you know what photo makes a good photo versus one that isn't. But creatively, you as a new photographer actually are in the winning you're in the driver's seat because you're not imprisoned by the structure of responsibilities and having to make a profit. And this is the tool for me to make money. So it's less passion involved in terms of like, yeah, I'm passionate, obviously, because I don't get paid every day, but I have to get up and still do this and talk to you and come up with topics. Of course, I'm passionate about it. I love what I do, but I mean that this is also a means of income. But when it's pure passion, it's just I just enjoy this for this, then you're going to be able to allow yourself to be more daring, more creative. And that's what I mean is I wish at the beginning I really had this mindset to push myself more creatively, experiment. Because again, that experimenting, that creativeness is going to help fine tune your voice, that creative voice, that eye in photography. When they say, wow, I really love wow, you have an eye for photography. That means they're able to see subliminally said, "Oh, they can see your direction, your voice, you inside the work you're creating." And again, that's only going to be refined and fine-tuned by just be experimenting more. As I said, being more creative, pushing the boundaries. So, slow down and just, have fun. Really, just have fun. Let me just double check here. Oh, we're looking good. So, what about you guys? What are some things at the beginning you wished you did, or wish you could do over, right? Or what was the thing you wish you did, right? What was one thing you wish you did to not do? Let's talk about that, right? Tons of stuff for me. One is the next topic. Okay, this is something I wish I did not concentrate more on. Okay, I wish I said no to gas. Okay. And what I mean by gas, I mean gear acquisition syndrome. We all know it, right? And we've all had it. Um, I definitely, toward the beginning, had serious gas, which a lot of new photographers do, where we just see the camera, we got to buy it. Now we want the 35 millimeter. Now we want a 50 mil. Now we want the 24 to 70. Now I need the whole Trinity, right? The 14 to 24, 24 to 70, and 70 to 200. They all need to be 2.8 because that's what they say is professional. Oh, I want a prime lens. Oh, now I need a 1.4 to 1.8 isn't good enough. Oh, they have a 1.2. Oh my God, really? The professionals have the 1.2. Now I need to get that so I can signify that I'm a professional too. Oh, that's a big fat. Okay. And it'll just leave you sad every time. Right. And it'll leave you broke too. So at the beginning, I had this a lot. And I think it's natural that we fall into this trap because we get inspired and motivated by all the other photographers in our sphere. We see what they got. Oh, they're at this level. They've been shooting for 10 years. This is what they have. Why don't I have it? How do I get it? And then we're just like really chasing our own tail, really, because guess what? As soon as you get that latest camera, I have the Z9, right? My photography didn't get better because I got a damn Z9. I got a Z9 because it specifically answered a problem in my work that the Z9, that no the cameras I currently had did not solve. So when you're looking at gear, look at not only the work, the style of work you do, but if you're trying to be a professional, right? Meaning getting paid for this, does that new gear solve a problem that your current gear cannot and that your client will notice? Does that make sense? Because if not, then save your money. And so I'll say it again. Does that gear solve a problem that your current gear does not and that your clients would notice? Okay. What I mean by that is if you have a kit lens, let's say a variable aperture kit lens, like this one right here, right? Let's say you have this kit lens. Okay, here it is. Look at the aperture. It says 3.5 to 5.6. That's a variable aperture. Okay, 3.5 at 20 mil. And then when you extend to 60 millimeter, it only could open up as wide as 5.6. Now that lens, now for street photography, everyday walking around, landscape, man, this lens is perfectly fine. Okay. You can still capture portraits with it at 60 and 50 mil, 24 mil. You won't blow out the background terribly, but in low light conditions, it will kind of be rougher for sure. You're gonna have to ride that ISO up a bit, but you're okay. You can learn all the fundamentals. Now, if you notice you shoot, let's say, wedding receptions and dimly lit situations, you want more separation of the background and your subject, right? More compression in the photo. And then that would be a reason to jump to maybe, let's just say, this lens, right? Which is your let's say your 85 mil right here, right? Here's your 85. And then now this one, this since it's a prime, now this one is an aperture of f1.8. Now, if you're looking at this lens, you're like, "Oh, I shoot weddings. I need a good portrait lens for the bride and groom portraits. I need something that's a little bit better in low light conditions because maybe I shoot more natural light versus using a lot of off-camera flash." Now, making a purchase like this for a 50 or an 85 mil would make sense because first, it does what your current lenses don't, which is it has a faster aperture. It collects more light, allows more light into through the lens into your camera, hitting the sensor, and your client will see the difference, right? The bokeh that's created using the variable aperture lens I showed you earlier versus a prime lens with an f1.8 um, aperture, you will know your client will clearly see the difference and assume you got better just by having that creative difference of what the lens could create. Um, Therefore, that's a good justification to spend the money on a prime lens. See, now that's a wise way to go about it. Um, at the beginning, we just acquire lenses, and a lot of times they're not even fulfilling needs for the style of photography that we're going after. So that's why I always recommend when the photographer's like, "What should be my first lens? What's the style of genre of photography you enjoy shooting?" Now, if you go back to my first thing I mentioned just today, you should spend more time on the craft, and then number two, be more creative. And then in that process of those two things, you're gonna see which lenses, focal lengths, etc., are gonna really be more advantageous for you to have in your camera bag. Now, I own a 14 to 24 millimeter f2.8 lens, a Nikon lens. I barely pull it out. Like the lens is in mint condition. I bought it for wedding photography, quite honestly. So I get, great big not only group shots, but like the of the entire hall, just unique shots I couldn't get without a 24 to a 14 to 24 millimeter lens. But I barely use it because I do mostly 9 times out of 10, I'm shooting portraits. So a 50 mil, 24, 70, just not a 14 to 24. That wide angle is just not what I would normally do. A 14 would be helpful for me in video. I just don't use it that often. So that's why that camera, that lens, I haven't even replaced it in the Z mount version because I just don't use it as often. So I still have the DSLR version. So that's what I'm saying. There's the gas. I bought it originally because I had the 24 to 70, I had the 70 to 200, which of course I use like a workhorse, those two lenses for portraitures. But I was like, you know what? I want to finish the Trinity. Everybody talks about the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, and everything else. Let me go grab that 14 to 24 for $1,600, brand new at the time. But now I look back, I mean, like I said, I barely even use it today. So there you go. That was a little bit of gas because I felt like I needed it. We got a couple of comments real quick. Cooley comes in and says, "I wish I would have taken the job at a major magazine, chose a girlfriend instead." That is a big fat L. Okay. I know what you mean, Cooley. Sorry, but you know what? Hey, man. In my when I was 34 to 37, I had a relationship, and it's not it absolutely was a dream killer in many instances. But it was a rough it was a lot of turmoil. We were both going certain transition. I just shouldn't have been in a relationship, quite honestly. Wasn't I should have just been focused on my stuff. And that set me back at least a good 3 years of pushing myself creatively, pushing myself, finding myself as a photographer, my voice, everything, all the above. So I understand a relationship can be very distracting. So you got to be very careful, get your game up. You know what I mean? So Cooley, I understand. I've been there, brother, and made it out alive. Okay. Pi comes in. Hey, Pi, how's it going? He says, I've got gas and it's all your fault, Robert. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Got my eye on Lumix S5 Mark II trying to future proof myself with video. Now that's what I'm talking about. So Pi, have you been watching at the beginning? Look, I'm live streaming now with the Lumix S5 Mark II. Okay. In the video, look at this, bro. Phase Tech. You go, wow, man. I love it. Boom, there we go. Phase Tech, brother. And then boom, there we go. So I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get the all black version, which is the S5 Mark II X. I'm getting that just for the extra video cinema features that I like in it. And it's only 200 bucks more. So quite honestly, if you already got 2,100, what's 200 more? So I'm gonna get that one, but I'm only getting the body alone because I already have several lenses for L mount. But honestly, again, if it solves a problem, helps you to create photo, helps improve your workflow as a photographer, and your clients will notice, right? So if you get the video capabilities you need, and then you can start creating video content for your clients, that's something your clients will notice. And therefore, it's a serious freaking win for you, Pi. Okay. Oh, whoops. My bad. I meant, there we go. All right. I'm pressing buttons. They're all over the place. I'm mixing them up. Here we go. We got meaningful suffering till 2070. Ow. Okay, well, thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, thank you, Meaningful Suffering till 2070. He says, my biggest regret is I was born. Oh, well, come on now. Come on now. Look, yeah, it gets better, okay? There's only one way, and that's up, okay? That's for sure. I've been down and out so many times where I've become very comfortable with the floor. Matter of fact, I leave a pillow on there just in case, because I know what it's like being down there. All right. And it's not easy. It really isn't. Social media is a blessing and a curse all at the same time. It cuts both ways. It's great that you have access to information. It's a great resource, an outlet to get your branding out there, to share your work, connect with other creatives, but it can be very toxic too. So just, that's why I said the first few things at the beginning, which is like enjoy the craft, remind yourself that you should be in love with photography for photography's sake. Okay, don't lose that passion. um Cooley comes in, is there a mount for Nikon lenses? Is there a mount for Nikon? You is it what do you mean for Lumix? You could get an adapter if you wanted to, but I highly recommend going native. What I mean by native, you don't have to get another Lumix lens, okay? But you can get a Sigma L mount because it's absolutely native. Okay, it's absolutely native. Get a Sigma lens. Their lenses are cheaper. The Lumix lenses, um, and they're sharp as shit. Well built. So if you're gonna get into Lumix, look at they have every single lens with a L mount. So all their lenses you could get an L mount. So pound for pound. That's why I have all my primes in the L mount are all Sigma because the quality is there and the price is always awesome. Okay. You can get damn great lenses for 1,800, $900. Like it's a no brainer. Sigma all the way. Um, A few select are like over it. Obviously, if you get the telephoto zooms and everything, but the prime lenses, yeah, they're all floating around 1,000, 1,100 or cheaper. So, oh, just to do video. Oh, okay. Okay, so here we go. Just to do video. All right, if I was to just do video, I would me personally, I do video with prime lenses when I'm doing video projects, quite honestly. That's just me cuz I like to have that separation when I want it. You know, be able to stop down to f 1.4. So, I like that flexibility, not that I shoot always in it, but in, f 1.4, but I like to have that versatility if I needed it. So, I do primes. I have the, 24 millimeter prime. This is all Sigma. 35, I have a Lumix 50 mil f 1.4 L mount. I have the 85. I have the 24 to 70. I have a prime 45 millimeter f 2.8 compact. That's an awesome lens. And I think that's all the Sigma lenses I have for the L mount. And yes, I use it all for video. Okay, cool. So there we go. All right, let's get back to it. Dippity dippity doop. Here's the next thing: buying the best I can afford. Oh my god! You know what? This sounds like spending more money and leaning into gas, but it's actually not. So if I'm gonna buy a 50 mil, let's just say, I always recommend if you're want to get into portraits, the first prime lens should be a 50 millimeter lens. That's just my recommendation. With that said, um, I bought, typically, which a lot of people do, they buy a 50 mil f 1.8. Now, I could have been a little bit more patient, waited, got the 1.4 or nowadays the 1.2, right? Some of those lenses might be just out of your financial grasp period, right? The first 51.2 was the Nikon that I have, their Z 50 mil 1.2. Fantastic lens, gorgeous, big as hell, expensive. I think it was 2,300, 2,100. I think it's 2,100. It was very expensive. So when you look at that, even at a Z mount f 1.8, 50 mil, um, now you're talking 600 bucks. So, you know, it's hard to compare. 1.8, if that's what you can do, then do it. One thing I wish I did was go hard in the first place. Like my first camera, I should have, instead of buying a D3100, right? A little kit camera, 2 lens kit from Best Buy, I should have went straight to the D7000, right? Took the money, got the better quality because I grew out of that camera in less than 6 months. The capabilities of my skill versus what I can pull off with that camera did no longer match. My feet grew too big to be in that pair of shoes. So if you're looking to get really into photography, go a little bit harder on that camera up front versus buying a camera like a beginner camera at the beginning, but you actually really want to get into photography, just buy a better camera straight up at the beginning will actually save you. Because then now you're buying two cameras to get to the camera that you should have gotten in the first place. So I learned that when I bought the D7000, that should have been my first camera. Okay. So with that said, I would have saved money. I would have saved what, 800 bucks from buying a two lens kit. I could have just bought the camera I should have gotten in the first place. And maybe I could have afforded another lens or something by the time a few months passed. So back to the 50 mil example, myself, I should have just went the Sigma was available, the f 1.4 art lens. I should have just went hard and went there and just save my money. I bought two f 50 mil f 1.8s. The manual, not manual, but an older version of Nikon's. I forgot what it was. Very fast, but it's a 1.8. and then I got like a slightly better version, a modern version of the 1.8, and then I finally, it wasn't until years later. Now the 1.8 was fine. Gorgeous photos, great separation, great and low light, but now with my new mentality, like I haven't bought a lens in a while because first of all, I'm not so easily persuaded through gas as I was in the past. Now last year I was a little bit because I was transitioning from um all my Nikon to mirrorless. So I had to transition my lenses also, especially once you get to the Z9, there is no absolutely no reason to shoot any other lens but a Z lens on it for optimal, performance. Outside of that, I have no need to buy anything. I will be getting this Lumix S5 too, though, because it does solve a problem for me. I want one camera to be completely hybrid where I can live stream on a go. Matter of fact, it supports wireless live streaming, by the way. I can still capture all the video quality that I enjoy, and I know how to, get all the what is it, dynamic range out of it and image stabilization, does all these things in a compact package compared to my Z9. My Z9 is great, but I'll leave that for studio portraits. But my S5 Mark II, I'm going to be doing every day, when I want to just go out and enjoy and not have to bring a huge freaking camera, right? I could bring this out. It's very small, fits my sling bag, and none the wiser. I take a few photos, put it in my bag. I can capture some video B-roll, no problem. I capture some photos, no problem. So it solves a problem for me. And it is a night and day different in experience from the first S5, which I do own, compared to this one because of the new auto phase detect autofocus. So, but like I said, moral of the story is that I wish I went hard in the first place and just bought something better of quality, even if it meant me waiting an extra month or two or spending another $100 or two just to get the better one because most of the time it is worth it. I don't like a frog being like hopping from a lily pad to lily pad to lily pad. If that's what you have to do, great. But you only have two hands. I've never needed a professional need for more than two camera bodies, right? And ultimately you will be spending more. That's just a fact. So I recommend go hard, go home. That's one thing I wish I'd known earlier for sure. And I just realized that like for sure after COVID lockdown and everything, that's when I really start clicking like, you know, this gas isn't really getting to me as easily as it used to. You know what I mean? Just because something new and shiny came out. I want the new Sigma 50 50 mil f1.4 DGDN lens for the Lumix and L mount. I want it, but I'm like, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I can wait. I have other priorities. Um, all right, we got a comment coming on in. Cooley comes in and says, "Does it have a vertical grip?" Excuse me. The the S5, the first version, did have a vertical grip, so I'm assuming the same vertical grip can be used on this one too, because the cameras have not changed. Okay. Dagnammit, what did I do with? I think I left it in the bag. But the S5, if you put the original S5 and the S5 Mark II together, they look exactly the same, except that this one has vents by the where the IP where the viewfinder is. You can see little vents. But outside of that, um, they're virtually the same. Weight, size, height, etc. So I'm gonna and as well as a sensor, right? So you're going to I'm assuming you can use the same vertical grip. So yes, absolutely. All right, let's get to the next one. Here we go. I wish I exploited social media more. Yes, I just said that it can be a bad thing, right? Social media, especially when we subconsciously start comparing ourselves to other people, what they got going on, what you don't have going on. Why aren't you hitting like they are? Why is they're getting the clicks? You're not getting the clicks, all this stuff. it drive you nuts. It's brought me to some dark places numerous times, and now I have like this thing where I post and then I chuck the phone away for a few hours and maybe, I want to check again just to respond to people's comments. But boy, man, that it's an ugly hole. It really is. The social media. You got to be very careful. It cuts both ways. So it can be beneficial too. And when I was younger, I wish I leaned a little bit more into social media, meaning looking for the next um hot whatever, just for marketing's sake. One example is like, well, shoot, well, there was Vine, right? I just started getting with Vine, and what came out right after Vine, then Instagram started really blowing up, and then Instagram took Snapchat's, story feature. I was so into Instagram. I never really got on Snapchat until years later. So there, see that's an example. I should have got harder on Snapchat, got harder on these new apps that became popular at the beginning, just so I could ride the wave for branding purposes. Because even though we give up our information to use these apps, they're all virtually free to use, which could potentially give you the reach and exposure to hundreds or tens of hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of people. So there's the advantageous part of social media. And I just wish I was harder. I've had this channel for shoot a long, long time. I should have well over 10,000 subs, I believe, but it's because of me not exploiting and really doubling, tripling down on this platform that I know it's totally my fault. It's not an algorithm. It's not your fault, right, viewers? Um it's not Google's fault, no one's fault. It's completely my own. I know it. I know it 100%. And I just wish I didn't cock block my own success by not exploiting these platforms to better get my message out there, my branding. So I'm saying that for all of you because these platforms can be a huge win, right? Here I am right now. I'm streaming to all of you with my hoodie on, my pajama pants on, you know, and I'm able to connect, get to know some of you folks, and I enjoy seeing a lot of you that I regularly see. And it is a community. It's because of you. I don't say forget it. I'm not gonna go live today. Even though there have been plenty of times I felt like not going live, trust me. But I'm held you folks hold me responsible. I didn't have that kind of duty of responsibility when I was really starting out on YouTube, and therefore no one was calling me to account. Now I have all of you to hold me to account. Oh, I got to make sure they expect this. They want to know what's the next live show. They want to know so therefore I'm able to serve you, and I love serving my audience, quite honestly, and it makes me better. And that's why I've seen a difference in my YouTube over the past year versus the past 5 years in growth because I'm serving a higher purpose, which is all of you. I wish I did that when I was younger. That's what I mean by exploiting social media, taking advantage of the possibilities and the potential of what it can do for my branding. And that goes for all of you out there. Seriously. I work part time for Panasonic Lumix. I believe I mentioned that in my last stream. And it's 3 years now, going on four, which I can't believe. Um, but I got that connection when I had, shoot, I think I had less than 100 subs. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. I think I had, like, less than 100 subs or something. I was, "Whoa, this is like 2015, 2000 no, 2016, something like that." And I met someone that works there. I was working at a camera store, and I met our local rep for Panasonic Lumix, and we became, really cool with each other and everything. and he saw my channel, and he saw the potential at that time with only, like, less than 100 subs, took me out for coffee. He's like, "How can we at Panasonic help? I believe I see you got something. You're great on camera. How can we help you build a relationship?" So it all started from that at less than 100 subs. That's when I should have went hard in the paint on social media. That's when I should have went triple, not double, but triple down on it in terms of experimenting and exploiting social media for me rather than allowing social media to exploit me. And I think that's when we all lose. So that's one thing for me for sure. Let me know down below, what is something that you felt that you wish you could change now that you could look back? What is it? If also if there is a was about to say, if there's something that worked that you're glad you took advantage of, what is that as well? Let me see here. What do we got? Bup-a-dee bup, bup, bup. Of course, here we go. Make sure, folks, in the meantime, that you click the link in my description section and join my Patreon for daily photography educational content. Okay, at patreon.com/Robert Photography. Your help allows me to spend more time um, helping you improve your photography. All right. I share all sorts of stuff on there, from videos to blogs to updates, lenses, all sorts of hoot nanny. Okay. And I'm going to be doing a live stream. Remember that. I'm doing a live stream this Sunday, 10 o'clock, exclusively to my Patreon members at the $10 level. All right. Of course, make sure you're pressing that like now. Come on now, folks. Press the like. That's the cheapest, easiest way for you to show your support. Press that share and subscribe. And if you want to get notifications, smash that bell icon. You know what it's like, okay? Smash that bell icon. All right. Um, okay, let's turn that off. There we go. Boom bada bang. Boom bada bang. Let's check some comments. Let's see if we got any new comments here. Okay, looks like we're all caught up, which is fantastic. Like that. Look at that. My God. This is the first time where I'm hitting toward the end at an hour and a half. Oh my God, that's a solid win for me, I think. Let me see. I think so. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give myself a Randy Savage for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Normally the show goes like 2 hours, so about a half an hour off from the clock I'm looking at. Um, let's go back to this here real quick. So, conclusion. Enjoy the process, slow down. The basics are basics for a reason, but then learn how to enjoy the process of breaking the rules of the basics. Okay. Spend more time creating your voice than chasing new gear. I know you've heard photographers say it. Shout out to um oh my God. His name is slipping my mind. Uh, um oh my God, to Joe Edelman. Shout out to Joe Edelman, okay? Check him out on YouTube. He talks about it all the time. And spend more time on the process of learning, exploring, educating yourself on photography, and break some damn rules. Break some glass, damn it. And forget the gas. Break some glass and forget the gas, okay? Because every time you get a lens, another year or two, and better ones coming out, you'll never win that race. You just will never win the gas race. That's so true. That's why, um, like, unless I love what I'm getting out of my Nikon gear, but I have all the lenses I need. Um, but if they came out with a D850 version, maybe I'd look at that for sure. But a Z9 does everything I need, man. It's a great camera. It's just super big. It's not very practical for me to go out in the streets of the Bay Area where they're busy robbing photographers all damn day. So I'm not bringing that out. But anyway, spend more time on improving your photography versus the damn gas gear acquisition syndrome. Okay, be careful of that. And when you do decide to make a purchase, does it answer a question? Right? Remember what I said? Does it do what your other cameras can't do, right? Does it solve a problem? And will your clients notice? And then as well, buy the best version of whatever that is that you can. Seriously, it'll pay for itself in the long run. Monkey branching, or from lily pad to lily pad to lily pad, or just like one branch at a time, a little bit. You might end up spending more rather than just waiting a second, being patient, and then when you're ready, get the one that's twice as better later on. That's what I've learned. And of course, take the time to exploit the hell out of social media. It's a devil in disguise. Okay. It has, you have with the devil and the angel, right? It's both of them chatting at you in your mind, trying to mess you up in some particular way, was it not persuade you, but like influence you. But it can be a great tool. Exploit it, build your brand, get it out there. It's open 24/7, and if used right, it can be a great tool for you to market yourself. So that, yeah, social media is definitely a good win in my book. Um we have a quick comment. Okay, let's go to these comments. Cooley says, should be a t-shirt. Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking about getting some merch together. So stay tuned for that. Definitely am. I want to get like a hoodie, a sweatshirt would be nice. And what else is there? I ordered a shirt, which is my saying, my slogan whenever I say keep shooting and stay creative. I'm gonna have that shirt very soon. And I also am doing more logo shirts of my logo, Robert Silver. So stay on the lookout. But yes, that should have been a saying. Absolutely. What did I say? I said break some glass and forget the gas. That's right. that's a that's a corny one, but I'm digging it. You know what I mean? Pi comes on in. He says, "Thanks, Robert. You are absolutely welcome, man. I appreciate your continued support." And Cooley says, "Long sleeve, absolutely, yes. I have t-shirts, but I want to do a long sleeve sweatshirt. That's probably the next thing I'm ordering. I just like to do quality control, so I want to order it, see how it fits, and therefore I can communicate that it's a good purchase for all of you." And Chai comes in. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. And she says, great summary. No, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. You tune in regularly, and I notice I see you. I see you. You know what I'm saying? I see you. So with all that said, we already know what time it is, folks, right? We already know what time it is, okay? So we are at the end, but it doesn't mean say goodbye. It doesn't mean goodbye forever. It means see you later, right? So remember, if you aren't already following me on other social platforms, shame on you. All right? Shame on you. Now go ahead, follow me on Facebook, Robert Silver-Photography. I'm on Instagram, Robert Silver-Photography, TikTok, and it won't stop because I'm on Twitter as well, Rob Silver Photog. And yes, I'm on Snapchat, same name, Rob Silver Photog. Go check me out. Feel free to go to my website, join my newsletter, or join me on my next group in-person photography workshop at robertsilverphotography.com for more details. And I actually create educational content every week. Where? Well, it's on Patreon. That's right. Patreon.com/Robert Silver Photography. So feel free to go ahead and subscribe, because I have a live stream photo shoot this Sunday exclusive to my Patreon members. All right. With Model Venusa. That is this Sunday at 10 a.m. So join my patreon.com to get exclusive access to watch that live stream, come be a part of the conversation. And this Monday, I'm going live for Marketing Monday. And we will be talking about photography upselling. That's right. We want to get more cash in your pocket, okay? And upselling is one of the best strategies you can implement to get more bang for your buck when you're dealing with your clients. All right. And they'll probably thank you for it, because the only way you can upsell is by providing more value. And if they see said value and they believe that's valuable, guess what we do? They'll give you more money. Bingo. And that's a solid win. All right. So, with all that said, please like, share on the way out, subscribe to my channel, greatly help. I'm trying to get to 5K is my next goal, very close. And with your continued support, I will get there. Until next time, I'm Robert Silver. And as I always say, keep shooting, stay creative.